Someone sends you a text message, 3 words, no emoji. Or your partner walks into the room, sets down their keys, and answers you in a voice that is a fraction of a second shorter than usual. Logically, you know it's nothing. They're exhausted, or having a bad day. It has nothing to do with you. But for the next 3 hours, a quiet, heavy weight sits right in the middle of your chest. You reread the message. You replay the exact way they walked past. You're suddenly on edge, second-guessing yourself, feeling completely drained. Why does a 2-second moment knock you off balance for half a day? It's not because you're dramatic, and it's definitely not because of the text message. To understand why this happens, you have to look at the protective system running inside your brain. Let's call him the security guard. He doesn't run your entire emotional life. He has one specific job. When an uncomfortable or painful feeling shows up, he triggers an immediate emergency response to get rid of it. He learned this job a long time ago. Back when you were 7 or 12 or 15. Back then, something overwhelmed you. Maybe a parent raised their voice, or kids at school left you out, or someone made you feel stupid for speaking up. You didn't have the tools to process those feelings back then. So the security guard stepped in. He grabbed the feeling, shoved it out of sight, and handed you a quick distraction. A video game, a joke, staying quiet, agreeing with everyone. He was fast and he kept you safe when you genuinely had no other options. The problem is, he never updated his protocol. He's still working the exact same shift today, treating discomfort as a critical emergency that needs to be shut down immediately. Which brings us back to that flat text message. Your brain isn't a passive camera recording reality as it happens. It's a prediction engine. Before you consciously finish reading a text, your brain scans past experiences to predict what that text means for your safety. When your partner's tone drops, your brain doesn't just register a tired person. It matches the pattern to an old file labeled unsafe. Someone I love is pulling away. It triggers a physical threat response before your logical mind even gets a say. Your heart rate shifts, your chest tightens, and your body prepares for rejection or abandonment. That quiet shift in tone that ruined your evening wouldn't have ruined someone else's. It's not that they're tougher than you, but because when that tone landed inside them, their brain's prediction engine didn't match it to an active threat file. Once that physical threat response fires, the security guard steps in with his favorite strategy: total control. He operates on a simple logic. If you can manage the outside world perfectly, nothing will ever trigger that internal threat response again. So you start working overtime. You scan your partner's face for microscopic shifts in energy the moment they walk through the door. You reread texts 3 times before pressing send. You become the easiest, most low-maintenance person in the relationship. Because if everyone is happy with you, no one will ever pull away. It looks like high emotional intelligence or deep care, but it's actually just frantic risk management, and it's exhausting. When an uncomfortable feeling appears and you immediately escape it by checking your phone, getting defensive, or changing the subject, you experience a sudden drop in anxiety. Your brain notices that sudden relief, but it credits the escape, not you. It concludes that feeling was dangerous, and escaping it was what saved us. Every time you dodge a feeling, you unintentionally confirm to your brain that the feeling itself was an actual threat. This is where the security guard system starts to break down. After years of running the same shift, the filing cabinets are crammed full. The drawers won't close anymore. Unfiled boxes are stacked down every hallway, blocking the doors. And those stuffed drawers don't stay quiet. They leak. They leak into your daily life as sudden, unexplained irritability toward the people closest to you, or a low-level anxiety sitting in your stomach on a random evening for no clear reason. Or worse, it turns into a general flatness. Your brain is spending so much energy keeping all those doors held shut that it can't feel much else clearly anymore. This is where the entire loop can actually be interrupted. When a small moment with someone you care about hits you much harder than it should, the work isn't to force yourself into a deep analysis of your past. It's much simpler than that. You pause for 5 seconds and separate the actual event from the brain's prediction. The moment you separate what actually happened from the meaning, the physical reaction starts to lose its force. We all know people who seem steady under pressure. When plans fall apart or someone they love gets distant, they don't spiral. It's easy to assume they were born with thicker skin or that they just don't care as much. That's rarely the case. They still feel the physical sting of a sharp comment or a sudden distance. The difference is that they've learned to build a gap between the trigger and the meaning. When a sharp word remains just a sharp word, it stays small. It feels like watching a heavy weight fall past your window instead of taking the hit on your chest. You see it arrive, but you don't have to catch it. That's what real stability looks like. Once you recognize how the system works, the moments that used to paralyze you stop looking like attacks from the outside world. You start seeing them for what they are, an old threat response, reacting to a future that hasn't happened. And when you stop treating every feeling like an intruder, the guy who spent 20 years guarding the door can finally sit down and take his hat off. If this hit somewhere real, hit subscribe and stay a while. There's a new story waiting for you every Sunday. Until next time, take care.